Stop. Stop absolutely everything you are doing right now. Hold your phone closer to your chest, turn up the volume and take a deep breath, because what I am about to tell you in the next few minutes is no coincidence. It was not the YouTube algorithm. It was not a late afternoon distraction. You were guided here, and there are only 50 seconds left for you to understand what Archangel Michael is whispering to your heart at this very instant. Today, yes, today, at some point between sunrise and sunset, your child experienced a deliverance. It could have been on the street, it could have been on the way to work, it could have been inside your home, in a silly moment of carelessness that could have ended differently. Perhaps they didn't even notice. Perhaps you felt that inexplicable chill down your spine for no apparent reason, that tightness in your chest coming from nowhere, that sudden urge to call them and ask if it is all good, even knowing they would answer, with that slightly impatient voice, "It is all good, Mum. It is all good, Dad." That, my soul, was not anxiety. That was not your mind exaggerating. That was the warning. That was Michael passing through your home. Because the truth that no one told you is this: the bond between a mother and her child, between a father and his child, is not just biological, it is not just emotional, it is dimensional. It traverses the fourth dimension, that invisible plane where causes exist before they become effects in the material world. And when something is about to happen to the one who came from your blood, from your womb, from your oldest dreams, the universe sends the signal directly to your heart before your rational mind can even process a single word. But if you are here now listening to this message, it is because something greater brought you. And I need to explain to you not only the deliverance that happened today, but the reason why it happened, the reason why your child returned safe and sound, while other people, unfortunately, did not have that grace. And more importantly, how you can, starting this very night, transform your feeling into a permanent shield for those you love, and into a powerful magnet for everything you still wish to experience before leaving this earth. Because you have spent your entire life asking for protection, asking for healing, asking for money left over at the end of the month, asking for true love after so many disappointments, asking for peace inside that house where the shouting seems to never end. And the question that has echoed in silence in your chest for years is always the same. That question you only ask when you are alone in the car or staring at the ceiling at 3 in the morning. Why does it seem like my prayers hit the ceiling and bounce back? Why did the neighbor succeed, the sister-in-law succeed, that co-worker succeed, and I, who am so devout, so faithful, who never miss mass, service, or prayer, continue in exactly the same struggle as always? I will answer you now, and what I'm about to say may seem shocking in the first few seconds, but if you listen until the end, your life will never be the same. You do not attract what you ask for. You attract what you feel you already are. This is the first law. This is the key that unlocks all the others. Asking in the way you were taught to ask is, in truth, declaring to the universe that you do not yet have it. And when you declare that you do not have it, the invisible field responds with more not having. That is why many of your prayers seem to increase the lack instead of decreasing it. It was not a lack of faith. It was an excess of the wrong faith, placed in the wrong place. And this is where the deepest teaching that Archangel Michael wants you to receive today comes in through these words: the law of assumption. The law of assumption is different, profoundly different, from that law of attraction you have heard about in superficial books, in quick videos, in motivational quotes stuck to the fridge. Popular attraction says, "Ask and the universe will give you." The law of assumption, taught by masters like Neville Goddard, says something much more radical, much more transformative. Become internally that which you desire. Feel yourself already as that person. Occupy the state of consciousness of the desired reality. And the material world will be forced to reorganize itself around this new internal state. It is not magic. It is not shelf mysticism. It is law. It is as precise as gravity. When you drop an object from your hand, it falls. When you assume an internal state with real feeling and persistence, it manifests. There is no exception. What there is, and you need to hear this very carefully, is delay when the feeling is not constant, is regression when fear enters again, and is cancellation when, after assuming, You go back to looking at the old reality and saying, but it still hasn't happened. When you assume the state of the person whose child is protected, shielded by angels, walking in peace through the violent streets of our cities, you are literally sculpting their future with the chisel of your emotion. When you assume the state of the woman who has already paid all the bills, who opens her banking app and smiles calmly, who goes to the market without calculating every cent on the way to the checkout, you are planting this reality in the invisible field that precedes the material world. When you assume the state of the person deeply loved, who sleeps embraced, who receives a good morning message every day, who laughs for no reason because their heart is full, you are building this scene in the fourth dimension before it appears in the mirror of your daily life. But here comes the common mistake that cancels the manifestation of 90% of the people who try to apply these laws. And I need you to pay close attention now, because it is exactly this that has been holding you back for all these years. Do not leave here before hearing this part, because without this piece of the puzzle, everything I have said so far simply will not work for you. And I cannot allow you to close this video without the secret that unlocks the gate. The mistake is this. People assume the state for 5 minutes and spend the other 23 hours and 55 minutes of the day confirming the opposite. They pray for healing and spend the day talking about the illness. They visualize abundance and spend the day repeating, "It is difficult, everything is expensive, this country is hopeless." They ask for love and spend the whole afternoon telling their friend, in rich detail, how their last relationship was a disaster. They decree protection for their child and call 3 times a day with a worried voice asking, "Are you really okay, my child?" Loading this question with fear, feeding exactly what they want to avoid. Do you see? The dominant feeling of your day, the average emotional tone of your 24 hours, that is the true decree that goes ahead, opening or closing doors. It is not the 5 pretty sentences you repeat in front of the mirror in the morning. It is what you feel from the bottom of your chest while you are washing dishes, while you are stuck in traffic on the highway, on the green line, on the road that connects your neighborhood to work. That diffuse, continuous feeling is your true state of consciousness. And it is from it that your life is formed, day after day, month after month, year after year. And that is why so many mothers prayed for their children, and the children returned home in peace today, while others with hearts consumed by fear attracted exactly what they feared most. It is not punishment. It is not divine injustice. It is law. It is the dominant feeling shaping the bridge of incidents, that invisible sequence of coincidences that the universe organizes to take you from the point where you are now to the destination your persistent emotion has decreed. That is why Archangel Michael is asking, through this message, that you begin to understand that feeling is the secret, not the word, not the memorized prayer, not the ritual repeated without soul, the feeling. That which you feel when no one is looking, when the room is dark, when you turn off the light and are left alone with your own chest. That is where your reality is decided. And now let me teach you how to change this, because up to here I have shown you the problem. But you did not come to this moment of the video to hear another diagnosis. You came to leave here with a key in your hands, and I will give you this key in 3 sacred movements that, if you practice with persistence, will begin to transform your life in a matter of weeks, not years. Weeks. The first movement is called I Am. These 2 words are, according to the oldest mystical tradition of humanity, the name of God himself. I am that I am, was the answer Moses received at the burning bush. And what does this mean for you, tired of so many frustrated attempts? It means that everything you add after the words I am is a direct decree to creation. I am poor is a decree. I am sick is a decree. I am unlucky in love is a decree. I am the mother of a difficult child is a decree. Each of these sentences, repeated for years, sculpted the life you live today. The inversion begins now. Starting tonight, you will never again pronounce I am followed by something you do not wish to experience. You will begin to practice I am in the state of fulfillment. I am prosperous. I am loved. I am the mother of blessed children, shielded by the light. I am the woman who sees her husband return home with eyes of passion. I am the man who finally breathes a sigh of relief after paying all the bills. And you will feel every word. You will not just speak it. Feel it to your belly. Feel it until your eyes want to well up. The second movement is called internal dialogue. Did you know that you talk in silence to yourself all day long? That little mental voice that comments on everything, that judges, that is afraid, that predicts the worst. That voice is the true orator of your life. While your mouth is silent on the bus, on the subway, in the bank line, your internal voice is giving an uninterrupted speech. And it is this speech, and not the speech of your lips in front of others, that the universe listens to with total attention. Start observing this voice. Without judgment at first, just observe. What am I saying to myself right now? You will discover with surprise and perhaps sadness that this voice is cruel, that it has been repeating the same prophecies of failure for years, the same doubts about you, about your children, about your future, and then begins the most sacred work of your life, replacing this voice. Every time it says it will go wrong, you respond internally, with the firmness of a mother who does not accept disrespect. No, I am she whose life is going right now. Every time it says, my child is in danger, you respond, my child walks surrounded by angels, and the name of Michael goes before them. Every time it says, I won't be able to pay, you respond, I am she whose bills are paid with ease, because divine provision is inexhaustible. At first it feels like theater. It feels like a lie. It feels like you are fooling yourself. And this is where persistence comes in, which is the third sacred movement and perhaps the most difficult of all. Because the material world will continue to show, for a few weeks, perhaps for a few months, the same old reality. The same bills arriving, the same silence of the love that has not yet come, the same worrying news in the papers about violence in the cities. And your old mind will scream, see, it doesn't work. I told you. And it is exactly at that instant, exactly at that moment of testing, that most people give up and return to the old state, cancelling weeks of internal construction. Persistence is maintaining the state, even when physical senses contradict it. It is continuing to feel prosperous, while the bank balance still shows the old number. It is continuing to feel loved, while the phone has not yet rung. It is continuing to feel the child protected, even after hearing bad news on the radio, because what you feel persistently will overcome what you see. Always. It is law. And here I need to pause to tell you something. If this message is touching your heart, if you are feeling that shiver of recognition, that feeling of, this is for me, leave your decree of acceptance registered right now. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. But do not do this as an empty gesture of an algorithm. Do this as a spiritual act. Each click of yours is a way for your soul to say to the universe, I accept, I receive, I deserve the new reality that is being built within me. It is your conscious yes. And whoever gives this yes, whoever commits to their own transformation publicly, even if it is just with a button, is accelerating the manifestation of everything they have asked for in silence for years. Now let me tell you about something that will unite what seemed separate, the spirituality you inherited and the science you learned to respect. Because there are people, perhaps yourself, who have reservations about these things. You think, oh, this is mysticism, it's cheap positivism. So let me bring you a fact that will change your perception forever. There are serious researchers, in respected institutes in the States and in Europe, studying for decades what they call the electromagnetic field of the heart. They discovered that the human heart is not just a blood pump. It emits an electromagnetic field 60 times stronger than that of the brain. And this field extends outside your body up to 3 meters away. And the type of emotion you feel, the dominant feeling, modifies the shape of this field. When you are in fear, anger, scarcity, the field becomes chaotic. When you are in gratitude, in love, in deep peace, the field becomes coherent, organized, harmonious. And this field, provenly, influences the environment around you. People near you feel it. Plants react. Electronic devices respond. Now ask yourself a sincere question. If a simple feeling held for a few minutes already modifies the physical field around you in a way measurable by machines, what do you think a feeling held as a dominant state for days, for weeks, for months does to the material reality that is being formed around you? Do you see? Science is not denying spirituality. It is arriving, with its instruments and its laboratories, exactly where the mystics arrived millennia ago through the path of contemplation. Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy. They were not delirious. They were describing, in symbolic language, that which today quantum physics and neurocardiology are beginning to confirm with charts and measurements. That is why when Archangel Michael passes through your home today and protects your child, there is a spiritual gear and there is a scientific gear working together. The persistent prayer of a mother who feels, with real conviction, the protection of her child generates a coherent field that precedes the child on the path. That protects them. That diverts the motorcyclist from the intersection. That makes the stray bullet graze past. That makes the thief choose another corner. It is not luck. It is law. It is the field of the loving mother in faith, shaping the bridge of incidents through which the child traverses the day. And that is why so many mothers tell chilling stories of, "I felt I needed to call exactly at that hour. I woke up in the middle of the night with that distress, and it was exactly when it was happening. I changed the route at the last minute without knowing why." That is not coincidence. It is the fourth dimension communicating with you through the oldest and most sacred channel of existence, love. Now let's go to the most practical part of this meeting of ours. I'm going to teach you a specific technique, taught by Neville Goddard and used by thousands of people in the world, that will supercharge everything we have talked about so far. It is called state reprogramming, and it is done at night in the minutes before you fall asleep. The reason is simple and powerful. In the final minutes before sleep, your mind enters that state between awake and asleep, which scientists call hypnagogic. In this state, the subconscious has its door open. It accepts, without rational filter, any order you give it. And the order given at this moment is imprinted deeply, forming your new dominant state of consciousness for the following day. So today, this very night, when you lie down before picking up your phone to scroll the feed one more time, before letting the television chatter about the tragedies of the world, you will do the following. You will turn off the light. You will close your eyes. You will take 3 deep breaths, releasing the air very slowly through your mouth. And then, with all your emotion, you will build a short scene. Just one scene. Short, vivid, felt. Maybe it is the scene of your child arriving home, smiling, saying, "It is all good, Mom, I'm home." And you hug them, feeling their scent, feeling the warmth of their body, feeling the relief that runs down your spine. Feel this. Feel it until your hands tingle. Feel it until you almost cry with gratitude. Maybe it is the scene of you opening your wallet and having 50, 100, 200 bills, looking at them with naturalness, without that shock of someone used to lack, feeling that peace of someone who no longer needs to keep doing math at the market checkout. Maybe it is the scene of you waking up next to someone who truly loves you, feeling the calm breathing of that person, receiving a kiss on the forehead, knowing with absolute certainty that you are loved and that this person will never leave again. Build a scene, feel it with everything you have inside you, and fall asleep in that sensation. Fall asleep assuming the state of the reality already realized. Do this for 30 consecutive nights, and tell me what will happen to your life. I have already received so many testimonials from people, common people like you and me, who applied this method and saw, in a few weeks, situations of years be undone and remade in a new form. Because the subconscious, once reprogrammed, begins to operate on a new program. And the new program organizes, day after day, the bridge of incidents that will take you to the destination you assumed. You begin to, by chance, meet the right person. You begin to, by chance, receive the job opportunity that seemed impossible. You begin to, by chance, feel the urge to take a different path exactly on the day that path would be dangerous. It is not chance. It is your own state of consciousness manifesting in the world. And here I need to warn you about a subtle trap. Many people, after practicing this for a few weeks, begin to see the first signs. A small improvement, a sign from outside, a coincidence. And then, excited, they begin to tell everyone. They begin to tell the neighbor, the co-worker, the sister. And that person, who is still in the old state, will say, "Oh, that's just in your head, don't get into those trips, go to church." And the dominant feeling of that person, added to the doubt they place in your mind, can cancel weeks of your internal work. Therefore, and Archangel Michael really wants you to hear this, keep silence about your process. At least in the beginning, what is being gestated inside you is like a baby in the womb. You don't tell everyone in the first month, you wait for the right time. Your internal transformation also needs silence to gain weight, to create roots, to become an incontestable reality. When it becomes a consummated fact, then you tell. But in the process, keep it to yourself and to God only. You and the I Am that dwells in you. And look how beautiful this image is. You and the I Am that dwells in you. Because deep down, all this that I am teaching you is a way for you to rediscover the most sacred part of yourself. That child you once were, before the world said you didn't deserve it, before school said you weren't smart, before the first love said you weren't enough, before life said that dreaming was for others. That child is still in there. And they believed. They knew, with that certainty that only children have, that everything was possible. The law of assumption is a path of return. Return to that original certainty. Return to that state of consciousness where you had not yet been contaminated by the collective beliefs of scarcity, of fear, of guilt. And the good news is that you can, at any age, at 50, at 60, at 70 years old, return to this state. Because it never truly left you. It was just buried by decades of contrary programming, and the nightly reprogramming, the vigilance over the internal dialogue, the conscious use of I Am and the persistence in the feeling are the tools that remove this accumulated earth and reveal the original source again. Look, I wish I could hug you now, cross this screen and simply hold your hands while I tell you what I am about to say. You are not lost. You are not late. It does not matter how many years have passed. It does not matter how many frustrated attempts have happened. It does not matter how many times you heard from yourself, "It never works for me." From the instant you decide to change the state, life begins to reorganize itself. It may take weeks, it may take months, but it begins. And every day that you persist is a brick of the new house being laid. And the deliverance your child had today, which perhaps they didn't even notice, was a direct sign that there is a force that cares. It is no coincidence that you are listening to this message exactly today. The universe is too well organized for this to be chance. You are being called to a higher level of consciousness. You are being invited to stop being a victim of circumstances and start being a creator of them, together with the divine that operates through you. Before I finish, let me make a personal request. Put your right hand on your chest now. Yes, right now, feel your heart beating. That muscle that has been beating since before you were born, without you needing to ask, without you needing to remember. That intelligence that has existed in you for decades, faithful, constant, without charging anything in return. Feel it. That is the divine life pulsing inside you. That is the I am manifesting in the form of flesh and blood. And while this heart beats, everything is possible, everything without exception. Repeat with me, in silence or out loud. I am loved, I am prosperous, I am guided. My child is shielded, my home is blessed, my future is bright. And I accept now, with gratitude, the new reality that is being formed in me and around me. Feel it. Don't speak like someone reciting. Feel it. Feel it until your breathing changes. Feel it until your shoulders relax. Feel it until the urge to cry comes. And let the tears come if they want to, because they are sacred water washing the inner house. There, you have just made a decree. It is not just sound that came out of your mouth, it is a frequency that came out of your heart. And this frequency is already, at this very instant, moving the invisible gear of your life. You won't feel everything immediately, but know this, it has begun. Today, this video, this hour, this moment is a milestone. Write down the date. A year from now you will come back here and say, "It was on that day that everything began to turn around." And remember, starting tonight you will practice the reprogramming. You will build the scene. You will fall asleep in the realized state. You will watch the internal dialogue during the day. You will pronounce, "I am only followed by what you want to be." You will persist even when physical senses contradict it, and you will keep silence about your process, letting the internal womb gestate in peace. And if on any day faith falters, if at any moment fear returns, if on any night the tears weigh more than hope, remember that you are not alone. Come back to this video. Play it again. Listen again. Let this voice serve as a reminder, as a spiritual mother pulling you back to the correct state. You deserve it. You always deserved it. And now, finally, you have the key in your hands. May Archangel Michael continue to go before your children, your grandchildren, your family, opening paths where there seems to be no path, diverting dangers before they get close, shielding every step of each one of them. May your heart, now conscious of its own power, begin to emit the coherent field of the faith that creates and not the faith that only asks. May your I am awaken. May the fourth dimension open. May the bridge of incidents be built in the direction of your oldest dreams. And may you, soul tired of so much fighting, begin from this night on to live the life that was always yours by divine right. Not tomorrow, not next month, today. From the moment you close this video, you are a new person. The seal is placed. The decree has been made. Heaven has registered it. I bless you, I embrace you, and I will see you in our next meeting, La Fe es ahora. Because faith is now, it always was, and now finally you know how to use it. So be it, and so it already is.